What if everything you were taught about success was incomplete? Stay with me until the end, because the final lesson might quietly change how you live, love, and lead your life. Stop chasing the applause, because applause is seductive and it teaches you to perform instead of to become. From the moment we're young, we're trained to listen for claps, for approval, for the noise that tells us we are enough. And without realizing it, we start outsourcing our self-worth to rooms we don't control. I've walked into rooms where my name was unknown, where the accent was different, where the rules were unspoken, and I learned very quickly that applause is unreliable. It rises fast, but it disappears even faster. One day you are celebrated, the next day forgotten, and if your identity is built on that sound, you will keep running breathless, trying to recreate a moment that was never meant to sustain you. Excellence, on the other hand, is quiet. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't need witnesses. Excellence is who you are when the lights go off, when the phone is silent, when no one is watching you. Choose patience over impulse, preparation over shortcuts, integrity over convenience. Think about a musician practicing alone for hours before ever stepping on stage, or an athlete waking up before dawn to train in an empty field. No cameras, no cheers, just commitment. That unseen devotion is what gives weight to the moment when the world finally looks up. When you chase applause, you start editing yourself, shrinking parts of your truth to fit what others want to hear, and slowly, subtly, you lose touch with your own voice. But when you chase excellence, you build something internal that no opinion can steal from you. Excellence is choosing to do the work, even when the reward is delayed, trusting that growth is happening beneath the surface like roots deepening in the soil long before a tree ever breaks the ground. And this is where spirituality enters the conversation, because excellence requires faith. Faith that your effort matters even when it's unseen. Faith that your journey doesn't need constant validation to be valid. There were moments in my life when the applause was loud, and moments when it was painfully absent, and I realized something humbling. Neither defined me unless I let them. The danger of applause is that it teaches you to live externally, measuring your worth by reactions, likes, headlines, and praise. But excellence invites you inward, asking you a much harder question. Are you proud of how you showed up today, even if no one noticed? That question changes everything. Because when your standards come from within, you stop negotiating with your values. You stop rushing the process. You stop bending yourself into shapes that don't belong to you. You understand that mastery is not glamorous. It's repetitive, sometimes lonely, often uncomfortable. But it is deeply stabilizing. Excellence builds resilience. It teaches you to stand steady when applause fades and humble when it returns. It reminds you that being admired is not the same as being aligned. And here's something no one tells you early enough. Applause can make you addicted to beginnings and terrified of depth. It rewards the shiny moment, not the sustained effort. Excellence, however, rewards continuity. It asks you to stay, to refine, to evolve, to show up again tomorrow with the same devotion, even if yesterday brought no recognition. This is why so many talented people feel empty. They chased moments instead of meaning. Excellence gives meaning. It anchors you in process, not performance. And when you live this way, something shifts energetically. You stop asking, do they like me? And start asking, am I honoring my potential? That shift is power. That shift is freedom. If this is stirring something in you, stay with me, because the lessons ahead go even deeper, and you'll regret missing how this single truth connects to discipline, self-worth, and purpose. Excellence also teaches you discernment, knowing when to speak and when to stay silent, when to push and when to rest, when to accept praise with grace, and when to let it pass through you without attachment. It's understanding that applause is a byproduct, not a destination. You don't plant a seed for the praise of the fruit. You plant it because growth is your responsibility. And spiritually, this matters because attachment is the root of fearing. When you attach your identity to applause, you suffer when it's gone. When you attach your identity to excellence, you remain steady regardless of the noise. You begin to respect yourself more deeply, and that self-respect becomes visible in how you walk into rooms, how you speak, how you choose your battles. Excellence sharpens your intuition. It whispers, you don't need to prove this. It tells you when to walk away from things that look impressive but feel empty. And let me be clear, chasing excellence doesn't mean rejecting ambition. It means purifying it. It means asking, why do I want this? Is it to be seen or is it to serve? Is it to be admired or is it to grow? Because applause-driven ambition burns fast and burns out. Excellence-driven ambition endures. It allows you to play the long game. And the long game is where fulfillment lives. Remember this. Applause will never sit with you in your darkest moments. It won't guide you through uncertainty. It won't hold you when you fail. But excellence will. Excellence becomes your compass. It keeps you oriented when the path feels unclear. It reminds you that you are more than a moment, more than a reaction, more than a headline. You are a process, unfolding, imperfect, and becoming. And if you think this lesson is powerful, stay until the final points. Because what comes next builds on this truth in ways that can completely rewire how you see success, discipline, and your own worth. Don't leave now. The real transformation is just beginning. Detach your worth from outcomes, because outcomes are fickle teachers and cruel judges when you let them decide who you are. Somewhere along the way, many of us were taught quietly, subtly, that results equal value, that winning makes us worthy and losing makes us invisible. And so we began living life like a report card, grading ourselves after every attempt. I felt that way too. The silent pressure after an audition, the waiting after a decision, the moment when everything you worked for rests in hands you cannot control. And here's the truth that took me years to fully understand. Outcomes are not reflections of your essence, they are reflections of timing, circumstance, alignment, and sometimes sheer randomness. When you tie your self-worth to outcomes, you live in a constant state of anxiety, bracing yourself for the verdict of the world. You're only as confident as your last win, only as calm as your next approval. But excellence, real excellence, asks you to step off that emotional roller coaster. It invites you to anchor your worth somewhere deeper, somewhere steadier, somewhere no external force can touch. Think of a seed planted in the soil. The seed doesn't panic if it doesn't see results the next day. It doesn't question its value because the surface looks unchanged. It trusts the process of becoming. And spiritually, that's one of the greatest lessons we can learn. Growth is often invisible before it is undeniable. When you detach from outcomes, you don't detach from effort, you detach from desperation. You show up fully, passionately, honestly, but you release the illusion that you can control how life responds. That release is not weakness. It is maturity. It is understanding that your responsibility ends with intention and action, not with the universe's timing. I've seen incredibly talented people collapse under the weight of unmet expectations, not because they lacked ability, but because they handed their power to results. And I've seen others walk through rejection with quiet strength because their identity was rooted in effort, learning, and self-respect. Detaching your worth doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you care without self-destruction. You allow yourself to fail without calling yourself a failure. You allow yourself to wait without believing you're behind. You allow yourself to be human. And this is where the inner shift happens. When outcomes stop defining you, feedback becomes information instead of a verdict. Success becomes gratitude instead of ego. Failure becomes instruction instead of shame. That shift changes how you move through the world. You stop chasing validation and start cultivating mastery. You stop performing for approval and start acting from alignment. And here's the paradox. When you release attachment to outcomes, you often perform better. Because fear loosens its grip. Because presence replaces panic. Because you're no longer trying to prove your worth, you're expressing it. There were moments in my journey where I gave everything I had, and the answer was still no. And in those moments, I had a choice. Let the outcome shrink me, or let the experience shape me. Detaching my worth didn't make the disappointment disappear, but it made it survivable. It allowed me to say, this didn't work out, and I am still whole. That sentence is freedom. It's also spiritual grounding, because faith is not trusting that things will always go your way. Faith is trusting that you will be okay even when they don't. When your worth is internal, rejection doesn't feel like erasure, delay doesn't feel like punishment, comparison loses its poison. You stop measuring your life against someone else's timeline, because you understand that outcomes are not universal currencies. They are deeply personal intersections of readiness and opportunity. And if this resonates with you, stay with me. Because the lessons ahead build directly on this truth, and missing them would mean missing the tools that help you live this understanding daily, not just intellectually. Detaching from outcomes also deepens your compassion for yourself and for others. You realize how much unseen effort exists behind every visible result. You stop judging people solely by what they've achieved and start honoring who they are becoming. And something beautiful happens. Your inner dialogue softens. Instead of asking, did I win? You ask, did I grow? Instead of asking, was I chosen? You ask, was I true? Those questions lead to peace. They lead to sustainability. They lead to a life that doesn't rise and fall with every external wave. Remember this, outcomes belong to the world, but effort belongs to you. Awareness belongs to you. Integrity belongs to you. And those are the things that build an unshakable sense of self. When you walk into a room carrying that energy, you are no longer seeking permission. You are offering presence. And presence is magnetic. So keep doing the work, keep showing up, keep learning. But loosen your grip on the result. Let excellence be your language, not success your identity. And don't go anywhere yet. The final lessons take this foundation and turn it into something transformative. Stay until the end. You'll be grateful you did. Discipline is self-respect in action, and I want you to really sit with that, because discipline has been misunderstood, mislabeled, and sometimes even feared. We often imagine discipline as punishment, as rigidity, as a life stripped of joy. But in truth, discipline is one of the most loving relationships you will ever have with yourself. It is the quiet decision, made again and again, to honor who you said you want to become, even on the days when motivation disappears and inspiration feels distant. I've learned this not in moments of applause, but in moments of solitude. Early mornings when the world is still asleep, late nights when exhaustion whispers excuses, seasons when no one is checking if you showed up or not. Discipline is what stands between intention and transformation. Without it, dreams remain beautiful thoughts. With it, they become lived realities. Think of discipline like a riverbank. Without structure, water spills everywhere, losing its force. With boundaries, it gains direction, power, and the ability to carve through mountains. When you practice discipline, you are not restricting your life, you are directing it. You are saying to yourself, I matter enough to keep my word to me. And that sentence alone can rewire your self-worth. Because every time you break a promise to yourself, even a small one, something inside quietly erodes. And every time you keep one, something inside strengthens. Confidence is not built by loud declarations, it is built by private consistency. Spiritually, discipline is devotion. It is choosing alignment over impulse. It is understanding that your future self is listening to what you do today. There were times in my journey when no one would have known if I skipped the work, if I delayed the effort, if I chose comfort instead, but I would have known. And that knowing matters. Discipline is how you develop an internal compass that doesn't depend on supervision or validation. It's how you learn to trust yourself. And trust, once broken, is hard to rebuild, but discipline rebuilds it brick by brick. It's not glamorous. It doesn't trend. It doesn't get celebrated in highlight reels, but it creates a sense of quiet dignity that no external success can replace. Discipline teaches you patience in a world addicted to immediacy. It teaches you humility in a culture obsessed with shortcuts. And it teaches you resilience when life doesn't reward you right away. Because here's the truth no one likes to admit. Talent opens doors, but discipline keeps you in the room. Passion sparks beginnings, but discipline sustains the journey. And if this is resonating with you, stay with me, because the lessons ahead take this idea even deeper, showing you how discipline connects to freedom, peace, and purpose in ways most people never realize. Discipline also protects your energy. It helps you say no without guilt and yes without resentment. It reminds you that not everything that feels good is good for you, and not everything that feels hard is harming you. There is a sacredness in routine when it's rooted in intention. The simple act of showing up consistently for your health, your craft, your relationships, your inner life becomes a form of prayer. You are telling the universe, I am serious about my becoming. And over time, that seriousness turns into grace. Discipline doesn't make you rigid, it makes you reliable to yourself first. And when you become reliable to yourself, you stop overpromising and under-delivering. You stop needing external pressure to function. You move from being driven by fear to being guided by clarity. And clarity is powerful. Discipline also softens chaos. When life feels overwhelming, discipline gives you something solid to hold on to. A practice, a routine, a commitment that grounds you when emotions run high. It becomes an anchor. And that anchor allows you to experience life fully without being consumed by it. Remember this, discipline is not about doing more. It's about doing what matters, even when it's inconvenient. It's about choosing long-term fulfillment over short-term relief. And yes, there will be days when you fail, when you fall off, when you lose rhythm. Discipline is not perfection. It is the courage to return without self-contempt, to begin again without drama, to forgive yourself and recommit. That too is self-respect. If you carry this lesson forward, it will change how you see effort, how you handle setbacks, and how you define strength. And don't leave yet. The final lessons build directly on this truth. And missing them would mean missing the deeper meaning of why discipline ultimately leads not to control, but to inner freedom. Stay. The most transformative insights are still ahead. Embrace discomfort as a teacher, because comfort, while soothing, is rarely transformational. And if there is one truth life has taught me again and again, it's that every meaningful evolution begins at the edge of what feels familiar. Discomfort is not a sign that something is wrong. More often, it is a signal that something within you is waking up. Yet we are conditioned to avoid it, to numb it, to label it as failure or fear. When in reality, discomfort is life's most honest mentor. Think about it. Every time you have grown, truly grown, it came with unease. The first time you walked into a room where you didn't belong yet. The first time you spoke up even though your voice shook. The first time you chose uncertainty over stagnation. None of those moments felt safe, but all of them shaped you. Discomfort is the feeling of expansion before understanding catches up. It's like muscles tearing microscopically before they grow stronger, or a butterfly dissolving inside a cocoon before it can fly. We romanticize transformation, but we rarely talk about the messiness of becoming. And yet, that mess is sacred. Spiritually, discomfort is initiation. It's life asking, are you willing to trust yourself beyond what you already know? I've stood in places where everything felt unfamiliar. Language, culture, expectations. And in those moments, discomfort stripped me of my masks. It forced me to listen more deeply, to observe, to humble myself, to rebuild confidence from the inside out. And what I learned is this: comfort keeps you repeating who you've been. Discomfort invites you to discover who you can become. When you resist discomfort, you resist growth. When you lean into it with awareness, it becomes guidance. Fear and discomfort often travel together, but they are not the same. Fear says you're not capable. Discomfort says you're learning, and learning is holy work. When you stop running from discomfort, you begin to decode it. You ask better questions. What is this moment trying to teach me? Where am I being asked to stretch? What old identity is no longer sufficient here? These questions turn pain into wisdom. And here's something crucial. Discomfort does not mean you are lost. Sometimes it means you are exactly where you're supposed to be. The soul does not expand in ease, it expands in challenge. And if this is resonating, stay with me, because the lessons ahead take this understanding and turn it into something deeply liberating. Missing them would mean missing the full picture. Discomfort also teaches discernment. It helps you differentiate between what is uncomfortable because it's unfamiliar and what is uncomfortable because it's misaligned. That awareness takes time, it requires presence. But once you learn it, you stop confusing growth with harm. You stop abandoning yourself at the first sign of difficulty. You build emotional resilience, the kind that doesn't harden you, but steadies you. Discomfort teaches patience with yourself. It reminds you that becoming is a process, not a performance. You don't need to look graceful while growing. You just need to stay with the feeling, stay with the uncertainty, stay with the question long enough for a deeper answer to emerge. There were moments when the easiest choice would have been to retreat into what I already knew, but something inside whispered, not yet. That whisper is intuition. It grows louder when you stop numbing discomfort and start listening to it. And the more you listen, the more you trust yourself. Discomfort refines your courage, not the loud, dramatic kind, the quiet courage that chooses truth over convenience. That courage becomes your compass. It guides you through transitions, endings, and reinventions. And yes, there will be moments when discomfort feels overwhelming, when doubt creeps in and asks if the struggle is worth it. In those moments, remember this: comfort asks for nothing and gives little in return. Discomfort asks for everything and gives you yourself back. Growth will demand you let go of versions of yourself that once kept you safe but now keep you small. That letting go hurts, but it also heals. Spiritually, discomfort is surrender. It is trusting that the unknown is not empty, it is pregnant with possibility. When you allow discomfort to teach you instead of terrorize you, you develop inner spaciousness. You stop reacting and start responding. You stop asking for guarantees and start building faith. And faith, real faith, is not certainty. It is commitment without assurance. If you think this lesson is powerful, stay into the final points. Because what comes next shows you how discomfort, discipline, and self-awareness converge into something transformative. Don't leave now. The most profound shifts happen when you're just about to turn away. Let discomfort shape you, not scar you. Let it introduce you to the parts of yourself that comfort never could. Gratitude grounds greatness. And I want you to feel this not as a soft idea, but as a stabilizing force. Because without gratitude, ambition becomes restless and success becomes hollow. We live in a culture that teaches us to look forward constantly.